It all started off with a video conversation between two old friends from two different continents. Richard, Roger, and their wives, Kathy and Gwen, met back in 1988 at a British university, and they'd remained friends at a distance for the intervening years. Now, just into their 60s, came the opportunity for Richard and Roger to meet for an adventure. That adventure was to take them to South America. How would you prepare? What would you want to see? How would you travel there? What problems could you encounter? Would age be a barrier? Would you get on with someone you'd hardly seen for nearly 40 years? Are you considering an adventure in Patagonia? Then come with us on our adventure as we experience the culture of Buenos Aires, travelling light, eating exotic cuisine, tasting glaciers, meeting penguins and flying. Lots of flying. I flew from Manchester to London, then London to Buenos Aires, via Rio de Janeiro. The longest flight was some 16 hours. I went in cattle class, crushed up against the toilet bulkhead. It was cramped. The food was okay, but not everyone felt the same because I found the remains of someone's dinner in a disgusting bathroom. Customs at the airport was quick and efficient. While waiting for Richard, I activated my Airlo eSIM so I could use the internet in Argentina. When Richard arrived, he found that it was easy and cheap to use Uber. As a fluent Spanish speaker, he was able to converse easily with the locals. A little while later, we arrived at the Circus Hostel in downtown Buenos Aires. There was a relaxing area at the back of the hotel to sit and rest and plan. We went out for a walk in this old and characterful east side of Buenos Aires. It seemed a safe place to be, with all ages and types of people wandering about. The roadways and buildings in this part of the city had seen better days, but did appear to be cherished by the inhabitants. We strolled through a marketplace and then found a classy bar for a drink. Where are we and what are we doing?
Well, we are in Buenos Aires. We are about to sample the local fizzy water.
Having consumed some fizzy water, we wandered the streets enjoying the architecture. As night drew in, we found a restaurant with outside seating and waitress service. Quick word of advice, never place yourself on a table which is underneath a tree full of birds wishing to defecate on you. There was some music playing outside and some people were doing the tango in the square. After eating, we drank some more fizzy water and then found some live music at the restaurant. At some point, we went back to the hotel. Good morning, Richard.
Good morning, Raj.
What are we using to help us wake up today?
Jet fuel.
Is it good jet fuel?
Yes.
Hey, I've just found an American tourist abroad. How's it going?
Hey, well, I was looking at this edifice over here, and very Italian, Roman, Romanesque. Greek, god pantheon sort of.
It was a gloriously sunny day as we wandered around and took in the various sights, and there was certainly a lot to see. Not too far away was a large ship which had been turned into a museum. As a sailor, this did appeal to me. The ship was called the Burque Museo Corbeta Ara Uruguay. It was from the 19th century and had been on many adventures, including rescuing some Norwegian sailors from the Antarctic. The admission cost was less than $1 and well worth it. Following our day of sightseeing, we checked out some of the nightlife. People relaxed and the atmosphere was genial. And this evening we have some special delights. What are we having this evening?
We're having guanabana and empanadas, fritas, just fried turnovers.
And this white stuff, that's the guanabana.
What?
The white stuff is the guanabana.
Right. Guanabana.
Also
hard
known,
to say.
also known as soursop, apparently.
Soursop, yeah.
Some kind of
Who knew?
tropical fruit. Yeah. Later, we made our way back to the hostel. We only managed to get 2 hours sleep because we needed to get up and we needed to get back to the airport. Our flight was a night flight and it was going to be over 2,500 kilometres, taking us all the way down to El Califate, and that's in one of Argentina's national parks. From there we took a coach over to the town of El Chalten, where Richard had managed to pre-book a small hostel for us. The hostel was somewhat basic, but it was absolutely fine. It did have a bathroom with a toilet and a sort of shower. It even had a wash basin. I decided to check out the plumbing. I was a little underwhelmed because one of the taps didn't actually work at all. However, on the bright side, the other one did, so that was good. We weren't really that bothered about the facilities, because in all honesty, the view of Mount Fitzroy from our window was absolutely spectacular and made up for it. The next morning it was time to explore, and we started the day with breakfast at the hostel. They even had breakfast tea to keep the British sustained. There are many trails leading from El Chalten. Some are free to use and some are restricted and have a hefty price tag. We decided to follow a trail that led to a beautiful waterfall. Considering it was a height of Patagonian summer, there were relatively few people this deep in the countryside. We spotted a number of locals and they were content just to wander around and chew on the grass. It was great to be in this unpolluted wilderness. I noted that there were some special kinds of lichens hanging from the trees, and these denote when the air quality is particularly good. Upon reaching the waterfall, we just sat for a few minutes and enjoyed the view. We came across this little fellow, trying to cross the trail as we returned. Clearly Richard hadn't had enough breakfast that morning. At the end of the day, we were treated to another spectacular sunset. Wanting to make the most of our time in El Chalten, we'd booked on a trip to see some glaciers. We were collected from our hostel, and our guide was Luciana, probably one of the smiliest and knowledgeable people in the region. Our guide took us to Lago del Desierto, where we boarded a boat. The boat took us to a remote spot with a number of walking routes depending upon levels of fitness. The pristine forest was highly biodiverse. Tourist numbers were heavily restricted, and we were only 2 of 9 people to visit that day. Following the trail through the forest, we walked above the tree line and walked by a mountain stream. After passing over a ridge, the vista opened up and I saw my first glacier at first hand. It was wild, rugged and beautiful. We took selfies to try to capture the moment. In truth, you can never really capture that experience and how it made you feel. Our guides took us to another mountain and a second glacier. This one had a jade green lake filled with meltwater. Tired but elated, we returned to the hostel. Tomorrow it was time to shift up a gear. Our aim was to climb to the lakes at the base of Mount Fitzroy. We'd been told it was strenuous with steep, rocky sections, and we'd take around 10 hours to complete it. Join us in part 2 of this adventure and see how Roger and Richard deal with the demands of Mount Fitzroy, then fly to Ushuaia, the southernmost town in the world. Will they finally taste a real glacier or meet a penguin? Join us to find out. Oh, and please like and subscribe.